a second. Let me try to make this simple. Okay, so I'm going to cut this thread here. Now, typically, what you do is you would have this spool over here and this spool for winding the bobbin, and you can still do that. But I see you got a black and a white. Okay, so it's up to you guys what you want to do. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because typically, this is, you know, you're sewing while this is winding the bobbin. That's the typical use. But in this situation, you're thinking, you know what? I'm going to wind several white and several black. Okay, so I'm going to cut the thread off there. I'm going to come from up here. You are videoing it? Okay. Has to go through this black hole there. Oops. Trying to stay out of your video here. Okay, see that? Has to come in between these discs. See, it's in between those discs?
Yep.
That's keeping pressure on the thread so it's wound nice and smooth and even. Okay? Then I'm going to put the bobbin on here. Actually, I'll do this easier for your camera. Put it through this hole. Okay. Put it onto there. Engage it. I adjusted this, by the way, too. It was out of adjustment. And now, without it being threaded here, so you take it out of this take-up lever here, okay? Otherwise, it's flopping all over. Now I'm going to wind my bobbin. I'm going to wind my bobbin. Break the thread off. I was holding on that thread, so I let it break off. Stops automatically now that I adjusted it, okay? Then you take this off, and now you have a good wound bobbin. Okay, just make sure this is cut back far enough so that it doesn't get all tangled up again, okay? Now, of course, now I'm going to rethread the machine since I did all that. And the easiest way is just tie it on. And then I'll grab my thread and I'll just pull it right through. Okay, so you don't have to rethread it all.
Okay.
Okay. Again, make sure it's underneath here like we talked about. So when you pull in your thread, your check spring's going tuk 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 tuk. Okay. Thread it through here. Through your guide. Through your guide. Behind your guide. See, it says thread here. Somebody put that note in there. It goes this way, from left to right.
And the needle groove is always on the outside.
Be careful with that. I always say the scarf is on this side. So the eye has this indentation. You got the eye and there's a scarf right above the eye. It's a cutout. That's where the hook is going, is to the cutout. The long groove is on this side of the needle, and that goes that way. But I always go by the scarf. The scarf has got to be square this way, and then you thread from this side to that side. Okay. And then I'm going to pick up my thread. I did make a little bit of a mess because I did not take the bobbin case out when I was winding the bobbin, so it was getting kind of like ground up in there. So anyway. I'm just going to redo that. They had the bobbin right. That was fine.
You always want that to spin clockwise.
That is correct. Make sure it's in place. Pick up your thread. Oops. Now we're ready to sew. So